Good morning or afternoon, whatever it may be, wherever you are. This is Jeannie with Jeannie's Legacy Albums. We are in the process of building an album with graphic 45's Mother Goose papers. This is an 8x8x2 album. We've already finished the binder, so today we're going to work on our pocket pages and signatures 1 and 6. First of all, the pocket pages. You're going to cut your papers 8x8 and score them 1/2 inch on each end. You're going to cut 4 of these. Once you have those done, you're going to take 2 at a time. We're going to put our 3/8 inch score tape on both of the score marks. You have scored all 4 pieces. These 4 pieces will make 2 pocket pages. I apologize for hoarse voice. The weather's a little rough out here right now. Check and see if I have missed any of my score tape. Cutting off the overhang, which I always manage to do. Nothing on that one. This one looks good. This one has a little bit over here. Now you're going to take 2 of them to start with. These will be put together as your pages, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is remove a little bit of the tape covering from that corner. We're going to put this corner of the second page just as close to exactly precise as you can to the corner on the bottom page. Line it all up so everything looks smooth and even. Flatten it out with your hand as you carry it over. Remove the rest of your tape. Then I burnish it down. I open it and I burnish it inside where possible. Now to finish this pocket page, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take off a little bit of the score tape covering and we come right down. It should land almost perfectly. Flatten it out with your hand and remove this side. On this part, we can only burnish the one side. Now here's your pocket page. Now let's do the same thing with the second one. Pull your tape covering back. Match this corner up as well as you can to this folded corner. Match it up all the way across to the very end. Flatten it out. Remove your tape. And score. Burnish the inside and the outside. We're going to do the same thing on the flip side. Pull your paper back. Bring your cardstock up to the corner. Make sure everything matches as well as possible. And remove your score tape. Every time I say remove score tape, I mean remove the covering to it. And one thing I should have said when I first started was my disclaimer that I make errors all the time as I go through these. So please be sure to watch the video all the way through before you start the project. Now we want to make sure these fit in the binder that we just finished in the last video. You want to make sure they're going to fit over the hinges you put. This one fits perfect. So we're going to mark this one. It's going to work for signature number 2. The other side will be signature number 3. Then we know that this pocket page is going to fit right over that hinge. We're going to try the same thing on this side. Yes, it fits perfect. So these will be pocket pages, 1, 2, 3, number 4 and number 5. Now your pocket pages are done, and you can set them aside until we finish with the inside and outside of the covers of our binder. So first of all, we are going to take the front of our binder. Now on the front of the binder, on signature 1, I should say, inside cover of the front of the binder, we are going to put 2 flaps down. So I have measured them, and it will fit right in here. I did not write the measurement down. And I always do width by height. So this one is 6 by 7.5. And the little one will be 4 by 7.5. So we're going to put those on first. Again, I only pull back a little bit of the tape so I can see what I'm doing. I want to go right to where the end of your guess it is to get started on your first signature. You want to make sure before you tack it all the way down that you have it as straight as possible, and the book will be able to open without the page being in the way. Everything looks good. It's lining up with the lines, so we can release the tape and burnish it down. Now we will do the same thing to the left-hand side. Pull a little bit of the tape. Set it right where I want it to be, about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. Make sure it lines up with your other page. Flatten it out nicely. Make sure both ends match, and they're not crooked. They're going to match just perfect. Once you get it to that point, then you pull your tape off and burnish it. Now, before we continue, we want to put our base page in. This is the paper that I picked to go inside here. And this is going to fit perfect right inside these 2 pieces, but we're going to double check it to make sure. No, it isn't. So I need to cut back Humpty Dumpty a little bit. So we will cut him back just a little bit more. And since these pages have already been burnished, I'm going to have to burnish the edge that I cut. I am using Tim Holtz Vintage Photo for this particular album. Okay, now let's try it. That looks much better. Yes. Maybe just a hair too long, sticking out the bottom of the flap. Just take a teensy bit off. Just a little bitty hair. And then we'll go back and burnish that side. Now that it fits exactly the way I want it to, we can put our score tape on it and add it to the album. And again, we will put a strip of paper down the second. The paper's large enough, I'm going to make 2 little lines down the center just to help keep it from bubbling up once it gets some weight on it. This page will not have much weight. And we're going to burnish it all down. Get the overhang off. And we're going to attach it to our binder. Where is my little arrow? My little arrow is up here. So I'm going to take this piece off first. Line it up the best you can for the way you want it to land in your book. Make sure that it's straight across everything. And when you think you've got it where you want it, carefully lay it down. That looks good. Okay, now we'll go in and take the rest of the tape off. And I like to do about half of it. Take it out, line it up, settle it down, and then we'll do the other 2 sides. There you go. Now your back page is in. You always need to put your flaps in first. And I forgot an important step, so I'm going to have to go back and undo this corner. I forgot the magnets. Right off the get-go. Signature 1, I make a mistake. Okay, now we're going to use the larger magnets because it could become a heavier page. Plus and a minus. I use the basic gray magnets available at scrapandcreate.com. Maybe I didn't need to do that. No, I don't think so. Skip that part. I lied. We are going to put the pages together. And we are going to put our magnet on them. And we're going to put our magnet, where did it go? On the shortest side of our flap of the 2. Right in the middle, just a little bit edge from the edge so that you can cover it nicely. Then we attach this one right to it and very carefully pull this page down where we want it. Give a little extra rub on your magnet. You pull it back, and your magnets are done. Now we can continue. We will put papers on the inside and outside of both of these flaps. Now I have picked the solid green to go on the inside flaps because they bring out the green in Humpty. So let's double check this. This looks good. You cut your pages to your own specifications because every single thing we do will come out different. I could make this book 5 times and they wouldn't be exactly the same all 5 times. So figure out what your pages, pattern pages need to be. They should be about an 1/8 of an inch, no more than 1/4 on showing around on all sides. And on this one, I'm just going to put one little tiny strip in the middle. Another thing you want to do to make sure your magnets are secure is cut a little piece of score tape, cover the magnets with it on both sides. Okay, now we're ready to put this page on. Going to pull it off of this end, the tape off of this end, and you're going to pull the tape off of your magnet. Again, line up your paper as well as you can. I did not get my overhang off. As well as you can, make it look pretty much like where you would like it to be. Very carefully lay it down, and as you do, the tape where this magnet is going to stick. So make sure you've got it right. And lay the whole thing down, burnish it down. Then we will go back, carefully pull it off of this tape, and remove the tape from the other sides. And again, pulling gently but carefully, and get it where you want it to be, and then you flatten out the whole page, and I burnish everything. So the right-hand side flap on the inside is done. We will go over and put the piece on the other side. No magnet on this side. And because this piece is smaller, we're going to use the glue. I can hold it in my hand. That means I can manage it well. I don't want to have to bother with the tape. Now with this, I can make no mistakes because once the glue is set, it's going to set. All around the edges, and then I like to squiggle a little bit down the middle. Come over here, set this up so you have just about 1/8 of an inch showing on all sides, and then you burnish it down. Now these two sides are burnished. The inside is done. We are going to add a pocket that I'm putting at the bottom of this page. And this pocket will cut I cut it 2 by 8. It's too big. So we're going to cut the end of it off. You will cut your pocket seven and 5/8 by 2. And it's going to fit right in here, in between your two flaps. Now you're only going to tape or glue, whichever you prefer, 3 corners of this. 3 sides. We'll do the 2 short sides and 1 long side. This will make your pocket. And then you carefully line it up with the bottom of your page and the sides of your pages and get it exactly where you want it to go. No of the paper with the Humpty Dumpty on it showing through. And that one went down a little far. Bring it back up. And then I used this piece cut off the front that has some of the songs to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on it, some of the words. I'm going to use that for the front of this pocket. Some of my writing is showing through. We don't want that. And since I changed the length of the pocket, now I need to change the length of the pocket cover. Once again, burnish the end that I cut. You see how white it is there? I don't like the white. I like the antique look you get when you burnish your corners. This piece you glue all over, all 4 sides. And down, squigglies down the middle. And set it right in the middle of your pocket. There you go. It gives a little lightness and brightness to this page, and you have a nice pocket here to work with. Now we will do the outside of the flaps. Make sure you always put your pin back in your glitter glue because it dries quickly and it will plug up the hole. So for our left side, the right side of our pocket, we are going to put in this. It's the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the back side of the pages with the stars on them. And I'm going to use score tape to add this page. You have to pardon all my stretching and reaching because I have the tendency when I'm done working with whatever I'm working with, I just chuck it and it lands wherever. Then I have to go looking for it the next time I use it. It would be good for me to get in the habit of just putting it all in the same place. And again, a little tiny piece down the middle. we're going to burnish the entire piece. Go back and check for overhang. This one looks pretty good. This one's ready to go in the binder. Again, line it up as close as you can with your 1/8 of an inch showing on all sides. When you've got it where you want it, push it down. Then I go back and remove the rest of the tape. Once I have removed the inside tape and one end, I like to stretch my paper out, line it out, make sure it's looking perfect as possible on the page. Then we will remove the last 2 pieces of tape. Burnish it all down really well. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the outside of our smaller flap. And this one, I am using the same paper. This one is small. Take the tape off of your magnet. This one is small again, so we're going to use the art glitter glue to put it on. Cover all sides and then squigglies down the middle very lightly. And when there's a magnet involved, I like to put a little glue between the magnet and the end of the paper, also over the magnet itself and around the score tape. Make sure that your twinkle twinkle words are going the right direction. Get your paper down to where you think you really want to have it. Flip your other paper over so they look like they're right. That looks absolutely perfect. And then we are going to burnish it down. And when I finished this page, I looked at it and I thought, it looks a little bland. So I decided to do a little addition to the front page. We're going to take a piece of your cardstock and cut it 5 by 5. Make a square out of it, 5 by 5. Once you have that done, we're going to make a triangle out of it. So you're going to put the diagonal corners lined up with your trimmer, 1 point on each end. Hold it tightly so it won't slip. And we are going to cut it down the middle. That's going to give us a nice little triangle pocket out here on the top. And then we're going to do the same thing for the paper I picked to go on the front. Now we will cut this the same as the cardstock, but we will have to adjust it to fit the cardstock once it's all put together. Pointy to pointy on the diagonal side and cut it. Basically, it should look just fine. It's a little big, we're going to have to trim it. Now you're going to take this one and you're going to put your glue on the two outside ends of this triangle. You're not going to put glue anyplace else on this piece. Now you're going to come over to your page and attach it in the corner. I try to put it so none of the paper underneath shows. Sometimes it does. It's just the angle at which your trimmer will cut the paper. Now we have a nice little pocket where we can put a pretty tag or a card in. Now we need to put the paper over it that's going to lighten this page up a little bit. And I think we are going to cut just about 1/16 of an inch off. Now we will try it again. It's perfect. So we will burnish all 3 sides of it. And this one you will put the glue all over it because you want to seal it down. Give yourself about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Maybe closer to 1/8 in some places, and burnish it down. Now your front signature page is done. You have plenty of room here. We will decorate the pages when we get back. We'll finish the album, then we'll come back and decorate the pages. So now we're going to set that all aside. And we're going to slip our album over. And we're going to do signature number 6, which is on the inside of the back cover. We will do both our cover insides before we start our actual pages. Now this page is going to be just the opposite. We're going to have the large flap on this side and a smaller flap on this side. So the first thing we need to do is add our flaps. Put a little bit of your tape away, line it up, make sure it's all against the lines where you've drawn your little 1/4 inch lines. You want them covered. Make sure your book will still close without affecting your page. You've got that all lined up. Then you slip out your score tape and you burnish your page. Now we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Oh, no tape on this one. Well, I'll have to get that done. I am sorry I didn't mention the sizes of these. This one will be 6 inches wide, 7.5 inches tall. The little side will be 5 inches wide and 7.5 inches tall, and you will score 1/2 inch at each end of the flaps. Get rid of my overhang. That's it. Then we put this side on the same way. Now, this one we want to make sure is lined up about 1/4 inch from the bottom and 1/4 of an inch from the end. So I'm lining it up the best I can with the flap underneath it. We have just about 1/4 of an inch here Everything is smooth and perfect here. Remove our tape, burnish it down. Now this page I'm doing a little different. You're going to have your 2 flaps. You're also going to have a larger flap that's going to go on the top and flip up. So we need to put that in as well before we start any of our decorating. Make sure this one fits since I've made some changes. Nope. Gonna have to cut a little hair off this one. Let me double check that before we cut. I want this to be on the outside. Yes, I am going to have to cut it to get it to fit. We're going to put our score tape on it. Burnish it down. Now this is going to fit in between these 2 flaps at the top, and we want it to flip open. So we are going to add it right about there. And before I release the score tape and get everything sunk in, we're going to make sure that the flaps will fit under it. Yes, they will. So we're happy with where it is. We pull out the score tape, burnish it down. Now you have all your flaps on. This one, we are going to have to put a magnet in the middle. I have chosen this piece. It has all the cute little Marietta little lambs on the front, but we are going to put the blue checkerboard piece up. And since I cut everything else, I'm going to have to trim this down. Put it back down. Make sure it fits nicely. It's still just a little bit too big. Just a hair. That looks good. But before we put this one down, we need to put a magnet on this one. So we're going to flip it over, open your flap. Again, I would use the large magnets on this one, the large basic grays. We need a plus and a minus. Here will be our plus in the middle, giving us room along the outside to do stuff. Then we'll have this one that'll attach right to it. Come back this way. Remove our piece of paper and put our flap down. That will put our magnets in place. And once again, we will cover them with a little bit of score tape to keep them steady. Now, after you have your magnet in, you put your back paper on. Again, pick whatever papers you want. I'm using the blue checkerboard. And the arrow is going this way. I like the way it looks. So now we will put tape on all sides of it. And again, put a little piece down the middle. Let me trim off all my overhang. That looks good. Our arrow is up here. So we are going to pull this side of the tape off first. Going to line the side that has still got the cover on it. Oops, we need to remove this piece. And then line this piece up again. Exactly where you thought you would have it in the first place. Very carefully. Move it over, line it where you want it. When you think it's perfect, let it down. You burnish the corner, make sure it fits. Go in and take the outside, take the inside score tape off and the bottom side. I fold it out, make sure it looks good and flat. And then I go and remove the other two pieces. Smooth them out and burnish them down. Now we are ready to decorate our pockets. So, what do we have here? This is our left outside pocket flap. That's going to be here. And it fits just fine, so it's ready to be done. And I can handle this one in my hand, so I am going to use the art glitter glue. Being a little skimpy here, let's give it a little bit of a boost. All four sides, and then your squigglies down the middle. And we will add this outside of our flap, left flap, lining it up best you can to be straight and even on all sides. Let it go, burnish it down. This is going to be our inside flap. And this one also fits well. So we're just going to put some tape on it and put it down. This is the opposite side of the checkerboard that we used on the back page. And some squigglies down the middle. And push these hinges down. Get this about a 1/16 of an inch. Put it down and then burnish it. Now we will do our smaller pages on our right side. This is the inside for our right hand flap. Again, this one fits. It's on the opposite side of the little flowers, lines of flowers. Again, line your corners up. Give yourself about a 1/16 of an inch, unless you like more. You can make your edges as large or as small as you want them to be. I like them a little on the smaller side. Then burnish it down very well. And we will go to the outside of the page. And for it, I have picked the blue stars. Line it up the best you can. Flip this page over to make sure they're all matching. Then lay it down and burnish it. Before we go ahead and do the flap at the top, we're going to put the pocket inside this page. And I do believe, once again, I will have to trim the pocket down. Yes, just a little tiny bit. Always double check all of your cuts before you attach them. It's much easier to cut a big piece down than it is to ruin a perfectly good piece because you cut it too short. These you will glue on 3 sides. And you will lay your pocket in place. We will cover it, and most likely we'll have to trim this. Just a hair, just a little tiny bit. And this paper has white on the end. It's a pattern paper, so we need to burnish the little tiny bit we cut off. And we will glue this one solidly onto the pocket. Line it up, burnish it down, and you've got a great pocket for your big page. Now we are going to do our flap. I find it easier to work on flaps when I can see what I'm doing. So this flap, I know the bottom comes to here. I'm going to mark it. This flap comes up. This will be the top. Just to avoid any mistakes putting on our papers. I got this one to go on our underside. This one should fit right here, but again, we cut pages, so I'm going to have to trim this one as well. Check it again. Make sure it's going to fit. It looks good, so I will burnish it. Just on that one side. We're going to add tape to this one. It's too large for me to hold in my hand. And our little piece down the middle. Check for the overhang. Little tiny bit there. This one looks just a tiny bit here. So now we're going to come back, make sure this still fits. It all looks good. So we are going to take the bottom tape off. We'll be working from bottom to top with this one. And we are also going to take off the tape covering that we put over our magnet. Score tape's good stuff. Once it's down, it's down. Okay, now measure this as well as you can. I don't want to push too far down at the top and catch that magnet tape. But I do want to make sure it's all lined up before I drop the bottom tape. There we go. Now we will come back and remove the rest of the tape. We have the one piece in the middle. This pops back up because you haven't burnished it down yet. Once it's burnished, you're not going to get the papers apart. Again, I take that corner, make sure it's where I want it, put it down. Then we'll go take the other two pieces off. And burnish them down. Now we're going to come back and do the front. For the front, I picked the same Mother Goose picture that we have on the cover of the book. And I'm sure this was going to have to be cut down too, since everything else was. Just a little hair on each side. Tiny little bit. Just itty bitty little pieces like that. Another little itty bitty piece. Now we'll bring it back. Here's my arrow. So I want to make sure wait a minute. I want Mother Goose to go right here. Looks like there still needs to a little bitty bit come off. Now, that is looking good. We will burnish again the sides that we cut. This side we didn't touch. Okay, we'll put some tape on it. Okay. We will take this back end off. Make sure any scraps or fuzzies you have are not in the way. Line it up the best you can. All the way around. And then flatten it down. Take away the piece in the on the bottom. Line them up. And then we will remove the tape off the other two sides. Burnish it down. So that does it. In this tutorial, you have made your 2 pocket pages, which we will deal with later. You have made the inside, decorated and made the pages for the inside of your front cover. You have also made the coverings pages for the inside of your back cover. So I will see you again when we do signature number 2. Bye-bye.